Welcome to another RES Wave update. So XLM once again keeping you updated. Now, you know that we had the latest wave revision where B wave ended here. So this is the point of no return. Right down here, this is the critical support, the red line. Okay, the red line is the critical support at 0.37, 37 cents. Okay, now we broke above the start of wave E. Okay, now you can see that price is hanging around that area, and there's a good reason for it. Now the wave count is here 1 2 1 2. So we've had our 1 2 1 2 scenario, and if you understand anything about waves, I'll draw it out for you. You have a 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. Okay, so this is the wave 3 portion. Sorry, let me just get that right. This is the wave 3 portion. This is the 1 2 4 5. Okay, so what we're seeing here is, well, we've seen the 1 2, which is 1 2, and then you've got your 1 2 here, which is 1 2 here, and now we're expecting this part here, right? Which is what's starting now. Okay, so I know a lot of you have been waiting for all this to happen, and I'm just trying to lay it out for you because you don't know RES Wave, well, some of you do. I know. Thank you to those loyal followers who are subscribers. You guys are amazing because you are doing something that most people wouldn't even understand. Okay. So basically we've got the 1 2 1 2 pattern. Okay. 1 2 1 2, you get 3 all the way up. And that 3 could go so high that basically there's no, it's very hard to understand how a move like this can happen in just a few months, right? And what I mean by that is that C waves, they're called the killer waves. I don't know if you've ever heard that term before, but wave C, doesn't matter what wave C you're looking at, whether it's in a zigzag or within a correction, they call wave C the killer wave because it just moves so fast. It's like pent up demand. Have you ever heard that term before? Right? It's like, okay, we had wave A up, which is the first wave of a zigzag. And then we've had this corrective pattern, which has gone on like this, like this, like this, up until now. And that pressure builds to a point where you get like a reaction. And that reaction is the C wave, right? That's why they call wave C the killer wave, right? So our target here is $55. I haven't got it marked down on this particular chart. This is actually one of my prototype charts, but I thought I'd use it today because my other chart has certain other drawings on them that I don't want to take off just yet due to basically when I look at charts, I go through this process of playing devil's advocate. So I keep going back and forth between different possibilities just to make sure that what I'm doing is in line with what's actually happening. So yeah, that's why I'm using this chart. But wave C is coming. Wave C will be the blow off top wave that if you don't take profit when you're supposed to, excuse me, when you're supposed to, you will basically you will lose it all. Now, this chart even has the wrong color. The color combination, this is actually a D wave, so these should be blue. Okay, there we are, blue. So this is a D wave. So take that D wave there, copy it, magnify it, make it the biggest wave just to illustrate the purpose here, and then go back to the hourly. Okay, so we had that bounce, right? So this was a shakeout. Now the wave E, the cup and handle pattern, still in progress, still happening as planned. This is the cup. This is the handle, right? This is where we go bang, parabolic. Okay. Now you can't see it to the everyday person. This looks like just some V-shape corrective BS. God knows what people see in the charts these days. Like, I don't want to go there. And by the way, if you want another Q&A session, RS Wave Q&A session, I suggest you start commenting, because the weekend is coming up, and on the weekend we like to reflect on the activities of the previous week. So I wouldn't mind having another Q&A session, and I will clear off the whiteboard that I used in my last Q&A session, and basically go through a few more things if you want to know about how RES Wave works. I'm not going to give you every single aspect of it because there's so much to cover. You need to sign up for the program for that. But I definitely want to do a Zoom session. I just find it easier to do Zooms. So what I might do is hint hint, put something on my website to invite you. So if you want to go to reswave.com over the next couple of days, depending on how many comments I get in my videos, I may or may not put that link. And if I do, then hopefully you can join me for that. Okay. So when it comes down to it all, we're so close now, because we've seen the E wave, end of B wave, 1, 2. All right, let me just draw that out here. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. And then now it's all about this wave that's happening. Okay. It's come back to the highs, and some people may think, well, okay, it came back to the highs, but maybe it's just going to go down again. Maybe you could just do this. Maybe it could just go on forever and look stupid, right? But that's not how the waves work, right? If you have that kind of mentality, then God bless you. Learn the waves, because the patterns have to unfold the way that they do. So there is a certain order to the chaos. So right now, I cannot come up with any other possible alternative here. We've had our A, a sharp B, C, D, E, using everything that I have ever learned and discovered through my R&D research of RES Wave. I can practically tell you right now that if you haven't filled your bags up by now, you're probably going to want to do it before it hits $1, right? Because otherwise, after that, it's just going to get more expensive, and we really don't want that. So aside from that, how would you like me to draw what I believe will happen due to the alternation and the way that this thing is actually progressing? Okay, so if we have our $55 target and we have our 1-2 pattern, right? Now, mind you, these waves look pretty small right here. When you look at $55, you're probably thinking like, are you crazy? So the way I see it is like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? And that's going to catch people out like crazy, right? And then you're going to get a sharp 4. Sorry, hang on. Yeah, sharp 4 because wave II was kind of expanded compared to 2. 2 was more like, it was more expanded to the upside. So then we're going to get our 5, followed by a most likely either deep or this kind of move, right? To complete C. This is what I see happening. Okay, so let's go back to, well, we are in the daily. So, oops. So you have your A, you have your B, you have your C. That's it. It's a zigzag. It's a D wave. Okay. Now this is not the STR USD chart, but that's fine. It doesn't matter at this point. We're just trying to give you an example of what's possible, right? So, like, could anybody have believed that this move was possible back in the day, right? That was like from the lows. It was like 100. Well, hang on, that was actually like 14,000. 14,000% growth, right? So if you go down to the bottom of wave A and then you measure up to the target, that's like 200, almost 200,000% growth. But you'd be guessing. You wouldn't know when to get out. You would have no real indication of when to get out. But using Arias wave and using a tried and true methodology, where are we now? We're at about 66 cents, 67 cents, right? All the way up to $55. That's 8,000% profit. Let's just say it's 6,000 because I'd want to be getting out a little bit earlier. Let's say it's 7,500. Okay. The move that you're about to see is going to be so fast, so sharp, that literally you will have no chance of getting into it. You will have no chance. It's just going to go boom, right? And my theory on why these things happen is because RSI, right? If you look at an RSI, it's so easy for a market to just go into overbought territory. So what I notice through my years of observing RSI, which I don't use as a analysis tool, I notice in order for a market to not be oversold too quickly, but yet to have a large move, the move goes parabolic. It literally goes straight up in a straight line to the point where it's like, Jesus, that tiny move on the RSI equaled a massive move in price. So RSI is garbage. You can't use RSI as a technical analysis tool. It just doesn't work. Okay. So we're literally at that point now where it's like, if your bags aren't full, if you're not comfortable with how much you have, well, you're just going to miss out on the profits when it comes to getting to the end of wave 3. Now, I would not blame you if you got out at the top of wave 3, roughly, or like just say it was around here, $35. I would not blame you if you did that, because you're going to see a bit of corrective pattern, and it's gonna psych you out, and then eventually, by the time it keeps moving up, people are going to start thinking, oh, this is going to keep going higher. This is going to be this is it, and then they're going to go all in, and then there's going to be a reversal, and they're going to lose all their money. Well, they're going to lose all their gains from from the bottom here. So this is all part of what's happening across the board. This is how manias end. This is how tops are formed. Usually, by the time you hit a top, most of the people are all in, and that's when accidents happen. Okay, so using this methodology, you can take profit halfway. I would suggest when wave 3 ends, the target's $55. I'd go for like $40, or basically whenever you feel like you've had enough, just get out and don't go back in, right? Put it into USDT, forget about it, wait for further instructions, okay? Because it's not just going to happen in XLM, it's going to happen all over the place. And I'm going to try and put out as many videos as possible in a short amount of time once we get to this area, because it's going to be absolute mayhem. We're going to see people who are going to have so many different views on what's happening, right? We're going to have the bears and the bulls are just going to be fighting each other at that point. So you don't want to be involved in that battle. You just want to take your profits, sit aside and watch the party unfold. Watch how they all just basically eat each other alive. Okay. Now, if you don't believe any of that's possible, then I feel sorry for you, because you live in a pretty boring world, and you know what? Cryptos aren't boring. Cryptos actually, why do you think I got into cryptos? They have the potential to give you the biggest percentage growth on the planet right now. So naturally, I gravitated to cryptos, even though when I developed RES Wave, it was not in cryptos. I was nowhere. I was not paying attention to cryptos. I was literally dealing with Dow Jones, Euro, Euro AUD, just all those cross pairs, very boring stuff. But cryptos, man, if you don't catch that move, you're going to kick yourself. But you need to know when to get out. That's the key. Like I've read so many stories about people who they got rich. They were rich momentarily, but they didn't take their profits at the right time. So just remember, we're dealing with a bear market rally here. This is not impulsive overall. This is part of a wave 2 correction. So therefore, that presents a better opportunity for you to get in with those profits when the market crashes. Okay. And when that happens, you don't want to be broke. You want to have options. You want to be able to pick whatever it is that floats your boat, whatever it is that boils your noodle, right? You need to be able to have the ability to diversify in whatever way you see fit. And I'm telling you, 7,000% growth on your investment. And trust me, you're going to be able to make those choices. Okay. In my next Q&A, we can talk about use case and utility. I've done my research. And we can also do some live research. We can talk about the patterns. And I want more people to get involved in this, because I thought last time was pretty good, but I think we can definitely all learn a lot more using the RES Wave methodology. So stay tuned. Wait until the highs are broken, and that'll basically prove to you that I'm not insane, I'm not crazy, and that'll definitely spark your interest to the point where you're going to be like, you're going to be looking for me, right? And I'm going to be there, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. Hopefully you found this video interesting and informative.